We've been talking bonds, we talked the dollar. Now it's time to give Bitcoin some attention. Scott Bauer is with us. Who better to do it? CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Scott, should Bitcoin be the mover of the week? I mean, it kind of deserves it percentage-wise.
You know, it has been an incredible move. And historically, Oliver, October is the best month for Bitcoin. On average, this thing moves 32% positively on average in October. Well, we've already almost reached that. We've already reached 29% move just in the first week or so of October. So what does that mean here? Well, you and I talk about this often, that when we see these big moves, we typically get a period of consolidation afterwards, which I think is what's going to happen here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin trade sideways, probably the 52, lower 52 number.
Up sideways.
55 and a half.
Scott Bauer, this thing just broke out.
No, that is sideways here. I'm talking about the next week or two.
Okay.
So I think we could see that before that next breakout above 60,000. I really do. I think it should consolidate here. The spike up too quick. I shouldn't say too quick, but that's what we see. We see these big moves and then a period of consolidation. Let me give you some stats here, though. That
Please do.
So interesting. So much is often made of market makers and traders being in the know, right? Sometimes getting ahead of a move, whether it's in a stock, an equity, whatever it is. Well, at Bitcoin expiration in September, the rolls, which usually happen, traders that take positions that maybe are just expiring and roll them out to subsequent months, they didn't happen here. So traders left a lot of money on the table at the $50,000 mark, the $55,000 mark, $60,000 mark. We didn't see those roll. In fact, there were a lot of bearish bets put on Bitcoin options moving forward. In fact, the most sought after, the highest contract that was traded was at the 40,000 put strike. So it's not always that the market makers are quote unquote in the know of what's going to happen here.
Right. Interesting. I like that, Scott. Good perspective. So in terms of in the know, want to wager an explanation for the break between Bitcoin and the NASDAQ, lowest correlation on a 10-day basis this week we got going back to midsummer?
Other than just people fleeing out of NASDAQ because of rising interest rates, I don't really have an explanation for it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to dig deep and try and make something up here.
Okay.
I don't know why we've seen that divergence. But yes, it is the highest divergence that we've seen in quite a while here. Why are cryptos all of a sudden hot again? Maybe it's because all of the talk of regulation is now come to pass. When I say come to pass, I don't mean that it's off the table, but it's now very accepted that's a good thing. Plus all of the shock to the system of the news that came out of China over the last 2 to 3 weeks and them, basically shutting down crypto, boy, did the market absorb that. So, those that stayed in or actually bought on the dip there, boy, did they get rewarded. I don't know of another reason here, honestly, from a technical or fundamental perspective, why we've seen this rip to the upside.
Okay. I was thinking the debt ceiling stuff, that we almost minted $1 trillion coin. I mean, I'm not a Bitcoin fanboy, but, I'm loading up if that happens.
Yeah, you and me both.
The other thing, too, Scott, we heard from the SEC chair. I mean, do you think that perhaps we could be getting like an ETF sometime this month? Apparently, we're going to get a decision on some of the futures-based ones.
We are, and Gary Gensler, SEC chief, prior to coming into office, he is actually very pro cryptocurrency. Now, his first few months in office, he took a real hard stance actually, and he was very cautionary, very much about regulation, but he is very much pro crypto, and he is for this. So I think better now than at any time over the last 3-4 years where we've seen firms or ETF possibilities come out. I think there's a real chance at one now.
All right. Scott, appreciate the thoughts. Nice setup for us, and our next guest has a thought as well, so we're going to keep it going. I got to close this market out in 10 minutes. Mr. Bauer, it's always a pleasure to have you here on a Friday. Looking for some short-term consolidation in BTC. Scott's the CEO at Prosper Trading Academy. When we get back,